Hello, everybody. Welcome to my show on Learning Forward. Every Saturday, we speak with passionate educators across the world. We travel and find out why they are so passionate about education. This week, we take you to USA, where we meet Nathan. He's a senior learning designer at the well-known Fielding International. He works with innovative schools and educators around the world to create environments where learners and communities thrive. In addition to his role at Fielding, Nathan serves as USA country lead at 100 and is an active member of the Education Reimagining Learning Lab community. He enjoys facilitating conversations that bring together youth, educators, and community members to re-envision the future of education. He's optimistic that all over the world people are reimagining how education can be designed to cultivate learners with agency and aspiration to contribute to a better world. Welcome to my show, Nathan. I'm delighted to have you with us. Share with us, what is your passion all about?
My passion is really about giving youth voice. I taught for 10 years in several different schools, and basically what I saw is so many kids are just going through the motions, and they're conditioned to go through the motions by a school, an education system that says the adults are in control. So I'm all about finding ways to give young people voice and real, authentic agency in the way that they go through their school experience, that they are the ones that own their own personal learning journey, and the adults are going to be the ones to support them, to help them cultivate what they love, what they're interested in, what problems they can solve in the world. And right now, our education system is not set up to do that at scale. There's great pockets of educators and schools that are doing that are really learner-centered, but it's not happening at scale. So what I love to do is bring together people to talk about how we can change a system, change a paradigm to create a learner-centered model for education so that every single kid can feel that they belong, that they have a place, that they're valued, that they're heard, and that they're loved. And so that's what I'm passionate about, is really putting the young person at the center of education.
Thank you, Nathan, for giving youth a voice, for sharing that there aren't enough learning-centered institutions, and even more, for committing yourself to a changing paradigm where the personal learning journey becomes very enriching. I'm very keen to learn from you how design plays a key role in this objective of yours.
Mm-hmm. So I think that the first part of the design cycle is empathy and listening. And I think too often in education, we haven't actually listened to the voices of the people who are on the ground learning. And that's the students, but it's also the educators. If you can give the power to the people, to the students and the teachers, and you really listen to them and you allow for them to truly to go through the design cycle, rapid iteration, so that they can understand the problem that they're trying to solve, that they can work to create solutions and iterate around those solutions. And you create a mindset that it's okay to experiment and fail and learn from your mistakes. That's how we're going to change the paradigm. It's by giving agency to the people who are the ones in the classroom. It's the grassroots theory of change, that if you empower the people who are actively cultivating the learning experiences, that's going to be how you scale this learner-centered paradigm.
Please stay with us. We will be back after a quick commercial break. I am so happy when you talk of a learning centered paradigm, you talk of empathy, you talk of listening, and you talk of power to the people. Share with us some of your real life work because what we have just talked about is more hypothetical. I want you to share with us somewhere design has been brought to life and how your work in design has actually improved learning outcomes.
Yeah. So I'll give an example from earlier in 2020, in January of 2020, pre-pandemic, at Fielding International, we hosted a community event on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 20th of this year. And we brought together a diverse group of 70 educators and students from across the Minneapolis, Twin Cities area. And what we did is we cultivated and designed for a learner-centered empowerment paradigm based on the principles of the civil rights movement, which included agape love, an idea that every single person can be loved through this sense of community and belonging to a oneness, a one humanity, a one love. Also, peaceful resistance was another. But looking at ways that we can bring together multi-intergenerational folks who some are, the youth are energetic and are living with the problems of the current system, and the adults who have gone through the system, some have taught, some have designed schools, but together, bringing those groups together, we had a session in January where we created a version of a learner-centered empowerment paradigm that is being implemented right now, and that has shaped the way that we've thought at Fielding International about how we can facilitate community conversations. That's led to something that's really recent that I've been starting to host at Fielding, which is a new workshop called Align to Thrive. It's all about finding the right problem to solve in education, which through our collective experiences, I found it's about aligning your learning ecosystem. Too often what we find is that schools' vision for the future of learning is in misalignment with what they're actually doing, with their environments, the way they use time and space, and the way that they cultivate human capacity. That the teachers and the people in the system are the true assets, but too often we have a vision for learning that is completely misaligned with the way that we've trained our teachers and that we professionally develop our teachers, and the way that we use time and space in very rigid and controlling manners. If we can loosen the reins a little bit and allow for that, the environment to be more learner-centered, to have time that's a little bit less rigid, that becomes a little bit more flexible, spaces that are designed to cultivate creativity, that align with the vision for the future of learning, that has been an example of what we've started to do. This new workshop called Align to Thrive, we just ran it with a school in Silicon Valley, and they had an incredible outcome from that. We're looking for schools around the world who are looking to solve the right problem. And that's a very tangible example of what we did earlier in 2020, which informed our work, and how we can move forward in a really authentic, genuine, and transformative way.
Thank you for sharing your story for 2020. I'm sure in 2021, when you will have more interaction with students and schools open up, there will be more flexibility to test what your hypotheses are. I'm glad you talked of the rights movement, you talked about diversity, you even mentioned inclusion, and more than inclusion, you mentioned about multi-generational connect, which is very important in the field of education.